Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. All of our guests today, including Ross Tucker, standing by, sponsored by Passant Motors. We are back, and so is the Passant Motors Scholarship, bigger than ever, with $33,000 in scholarships awarded. Learn more at Passant Motors, BASANTmotors.com. As we bring in from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, CBS Sports and Westwood One, Ross Tucker. Ross, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I am awesome. What's up, boys? How are you doing?
Very well. Beautiful weather in Vancouver yesterday and today, as a matter of fact. I want to talk about what happened with the Green Bay Packers yesterday, because this has to do with an offensive lineman, your position, your old position. Josh Meyer, Packers center, vomits on the football as he's snapping the football to Malik Willis. Willis was supposed to pass. The ball slippery, ends up running for 3 yards. As a former old lineman, can you relate to that at all? Did it ever happen to you or anybody you know or played with?
I don't remember ever hearing, and I posted this on social media, at Ross Tucker NFL. I've seen guys throw up. I've seen a bunch of guys throw up. There's guys that throw up before every game in the locker room as a result of the anxiety or whatever, the anticipation. I've seen guys throw up on the field, whether they have a reaction to medicine or whatever. I've never seen a center throw up on the ball during the play and then snap it. And so I'm just so curious, because Malik Willis is the quarterback. So he's looking at the defense. I want to know when he realized he was possessing a throw-up ridden ball and that it wasn't a good idea to try to throw it. Because that was what he said to LaFleur, the coach, as to why he didn't throw it. But I really want to know. I want to know how that all went down. Like, I want to know, he got it and it's like, oh, man, this is really wet. Did he know it was throw up? Do you think it was maybe just heavy perspiration? What did that do to his hands afterwards? What did he do to his hands after that play? We could do a whole 30 for 30 on the throw-up ball in the Packers-Colts game.
Hey, I hope he can tell the difference between perspiration and vomit. Hey, Ross, a Seahawks win in overtime in New England. I want to jump ahead, though, to their game against Miami this coming Sunday. Tua Tagovailoa suffers his third documented NFL concussion in week 2. What do you think's in his future, and what should be, in your opinion, in his future?
Right. So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to the Seahawks part of it after this. We'll start with Tua. You know, I was at the game Thursday night. I called that game on radio for Westwood One, and a lot of emotions, I guess I would say. You know, first of all, I was so happy for Tua Tagovailoa that he got the contract he got this August, that he got the life-altering money and financial security that I felt like he had earned. I was thrilled for him, because after the dislocated hip in college, or after the multiple concussions back in 2022, including the one where he had the fencing posture, which is always scary, you know, I didn't know if that would ever happen for him. So I was thrilled that he got that, especially knowing I thought the Dolphins were in a tough spot, in the sense that, first of all, I'm not exactly sure what Tua would get on the open market. And this is one of those reasons, right? The concussion history is one of the reasons why I don't know what he would get on the open market. And so I'm glad he got the money that he got. And now I think he's got some really tough decisions. You know, the thing I said on social media, again, at Ross Tucker NFL, I know Rick follows. I don't know about you, Donnie, but the thing I said is, you know, 45-year-old Ross Tucker, right, would not play football anymore, and would tell him that at this point, I think the benefits or the cons outweigh the pros of him playing anymore. He's achieved, now there's a lot of money on the line, but he's achieved lifetime financial security. He has that, right? And so after that, I think he's married with maybe a couple kids. It's hard to say this when you're in your 20s. It's hard to have perspective when you're in your 20s and you think you're invincible and all that stuff. But when you're older, you realize, number one, life after football can be pretty awesome too. And number two, the game ends for everybody, right? Some people like Brady play into their 40s. Some guys are lucky to go into their 30s. The vast majority of people, the game ends in their teens. Then there's a percentage where it ends in their early 20s and mid 20s, whatever, right? So if you look at it from that prism, and the fact that he has an unbelievable life ahead of him, if he wants it, right? It just doesn't seem like it would be worth it to go out there again. Now, I will say this: there's some financial reasons why, even if he doesn't want to play again, he has to continue to say he wants to play again.
Yeah.
For monetary reasons. So you don't really know how he's really feeling versus the situation from a financial standpoint and how he has to handle it.
Hey, Ross, it doesn't matter what sport it is. First overall picks have immense amount of pressure on them these days. Caleb Williams, your thoughts, 2 games, only 1 offensive touchdown, 2 picks yesterday, sacked 7 times. What about his start to his NFL career?
Not surprised. Guess what? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's pro football. It's a lot different. That's one of the reasons why I had a guy, Sean King, the former NFL quarterback that was the first quarterback to ever go to a conference championship game. He came on the Ross Tucker podcast this offseason. He said he was nervous for Caleb Williams because one of the most important things for a rookie quarterback is expectations.
Yep.
And he felt like the expectations for Caleb Williams were too high. In part, I think, because of C.J. Stroud and how well C.J. Stroud played last year. I think that's one of the reasons why the expectations are as high as they are. But it's not easy for anybody. I know Stroud made it look easy last year. It's not. Most rookies struggle early, and then the hope is you see improvement week to week, and by the end of the year, maybe you're feeling good about them. I think that's hopefully where Caleb Williams will be. I think, they're not helping him out very much with the run game, or the offensive line's not protecting nearly as well as they did last year. Justin Fields must be watching Caleb Williams saying, hey, welcome to my world, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, listen, you did the college football game on Saturday. You were surprised that Dion Sanders had his son playing late in the game. They were up by a lengthy margin. Why do you think he kept him in the game?
Well, there's only 2 logical reasons, right? And for those of you that didn't watch me on TV on CBS Saturday night, first of all, shame on you. Do you guys have CBS? How's that work?
Oh, yeah. Well, come on.
Are you kidding?
Go back to the Ed Sullivan show with the CBS.
There's 700 channels
you guys
in
have
every
all
TV.
the same broadcast networks we have, like Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS?
Oh, Ross.
Yeah, we have to use antennas to get them, but yeah, we've got them.
Ross, it's not 1905.
I don't know what the deal is. We don't have any Canadian stations, so how do I know?
You can get them. You can get every Canadian channel, Ross. You got to dig. You're not digging good enough.
Yeah, because I don't care to watch Rick in the second row of a junior hockey game taking notes about a 15-year-old who can't even drive yet, even in Canada. Anyway, so there's only 2 reasons, Donnie, why he would have been doing it, right? And by the way, I was very complimentary of Dion Sanders throughout the game. His team played very well. The offensive line was better. The defense much better. But they're up by 3 scores. There's less than a minute left. All they have to do is take a knee once or twice. The game's over, and he's still throwing the ball. So there's only 2 reasons. Either number 1, statistics, stat padding for his son or Travis Hunter or whatever. And people have done that. He wouldn't be the first coach to ever do that. Or number 2, maybe the rivalry with Colorado State. Maybe he really wanted to run the score up that much. Maybe he really has that kind of disdain for Colorado State. That's a possibility too. I guess I was arguing during the broadcast. I would submit to you now, boy, that's another one where the pros don't outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever you're doing. I mean, what if Shedeur Sanders got hurt on the last play? The guy hit his arm. What if he got hurt? I mean, that's all we would talk about is how foolish that decision was to have your son out there, a projected first-round pick, getting hurt when all he has to do is take a knee.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, Ross, how much fun did you have? We all had fun watching it, but the Chiefs and Bengals, how spectacular was that game in your opinion?
It was a great game. It's just unbelievable. Like, the Bengals thoroughly outplayed them. Mm-hmm. The Bengals were clearly the better team, and they still lost. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the Burrow fumble return for a touchdown was brutal. The penalty at the end when the young man had great position, didn't need to do that, was brutal. And the Bengals lose even though my Princeton football comrade, Andre Yosivash, Princeton football guy, had 2 touchdowns, and they still lost. Stinks.
Yeah. And then there was the Jamar Chase situation with the referee as well. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. But very entertaining, a lot of emotion early in the season. I had all sorts of fun. Ross, thanks so much for doing this. We'll get your take. You didn't finish your answer on the Seahawks, but we'll get that next.
Oh, I'll tell you, Seahawks, they're Geno's playing great. Mm. They have a legit coach, and they're playing the Dolphins at the exact perfect time. I mean, they're going to be 3-0. I'd be surprised if they're not. And I don't think anybody was expecting that. Then you start to get some momentum and belief, which is huge.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Ross, thanks for this. We'll talk to you next week.
Later, dude. See ya.
Adios.